lagi kita sekarang ada di episode 9, I think.
I don't remember.
Remember, I'm losing counting. Sekarang di depan gue nih ada teman gue yang paling muda yang akhirnya gue kenal di kehidupan gue. Dia seperti jerawat.
Wait, really?
Dia seperti kutil
Paling muda.
di selipanku gitu ya, mengganggu gitu, kecil-kecil mengganggu gitu. Ini ada namanya Ken Durasi. Beneran namanya Ken Durasi?
Beneran Ken Durasi.
So Ken Durations ya, Ken Durasi berapa menit gitu. Hai Ken.
Hello.
Selamat terjebak.
Yeah, guys. For what it's worth, I'm trapped. I
Boleh
got trapped.
deketin lagi aja ke mulutnya. Nah, gitu. Kamu nggak usah minder, jadi kayak kucing.
Biasanya nggak kucing ya?
Enggak, bisa lu kayak gahar banget lo soalnya. And then gue seperti biasa gue ada Robin, the sidekick of the Cinescape.
Hello.
Oke, kenapa gue ngejebak lo kesini Ken? Sebenarnya sih simple sih. Yang gue tahu kan lu tuh paling muda ya. Kalau boleh gue tahu lu tahun berapa sih?
2001.
Right. So itu Gen apa? Gen Y, Z, X?
Z.
So it's Gen Z,
Yes.
right? Oke. Waktu itu kan yang gue tahu waktu gue ketemu lu itu, ini anak magang gitu kan. Oke, anak magang berarti muda dong gue liatnya gitu kan. Dan paling pasti image gue adalah ini anak yang pasti akan kerjain mulu gitu kan. Terus gue baru nyadarin lu dikerjain mulu itu waktu yang gue ngantri visa di Amerika. Visa Amerika.
Remember?
Ya, remember of course.
Yeah.
Yang lu diteriakin disuruh lari, terus lu dilempar laptop karena yang kita nggak boleh bawa laptop ke dalam kan,
Yeah.
right? Yang oke, that's the magang things. Gue bilang gitu kan.
I was there at 6 a.m.
Yes,
for you
I
guys.
remember
Yeah.
that. Gitu. Paul lu dikerjain abis aja, gue inget banget gitu. And then happen to be that you join us in New York shooting
Yes.
Ratu Queen kan waktu itu kan. Oh by the way, dia biar sendiri saking pengen magang ya.
Why did he?
Aku
Okay.
sedih deh.
Why?
Karena pengen
okay.
banget
Karena
ini.
I love New York. Kan,
Okay.
Oh, so you
yeah.
don't love movie making?
Oh.
I thought you love movie making.
Let's be honest. New York first.
Okay.
No, yeah, but
Fair. It's fair.
right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I wanted to go back to New York, you know,
Okay.
and then like have a different experience than just like vacation.
Okay.
So I did that.
Nah, sebenarnya ini menarik sih. Ternyata kan lu itu sekolahnya di New York, right? Film studies.
Yeah.
Ya.
Where?
NYU.
Oh, damn.
Ya, damn. Kan
A Tisch graduate.
I
Iya.
am, huh? Okay. I
Oh,
am a Tisch
damn.
graduate.
I feel sheepish.
Aku seperti sebutiran upil juga gue bilangin.
Please, I'm like the youngest and the smallest in the room right now.
Cie, tapi so fancy.
It
Tapi-
sounds fancy.
Menariknya adalah dia itu nggak ada background film sama sekali.
Yeah.
Tapi dia bilang kita waktu itu kan di sana pas kita lagi di dimensi lain di rooftop gitu kan.
Oh wow, we had that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we have the conversation.
Were you on shrooms or something? Why does it sound so dubious, you know?
Probably just.
Tapi yang seru itu dia cerita tentang ternyata how she love movies gitu, dia cerita gitu kan. And then tiba-tiba gue merasa nyambung ini sama Gen Z di depan gue nih.
Wow, right?
Nah, karena tuh biasa, gue tuh bukan gue nggak bisa nyambung sama Gen Z kan.
Iya.
Kadang-kadang kan kita udah, maksud kita tuh yang tua-tua ini kan udah dianggapnya dead jokes banget lah gitu kan, yang nggak bisa ngobrol lah apa segala macam. Jadi emang we found a difficulty to each other gitu.
Yeah.
Gue suka ngerasanya gitu. Sometimes we really we find that we really hard to relate gitu loh.
Yeah.
Relate jokes yang nggak relate lah gitu kan, cara pikir dan segala macam. Tapi sama waktu kemarin gue ngobrol sama lu, seru juga nih gitu. Makanya kan jadinya sering dari sekali ada kita ketemuan ya di Jakarta juga, termasuk nih gue jebak di sini gitu. Karena to be honest, kayaknya nih lu bakalan jadi Gen Z pertama yang mewakili di podcast gue.
I'm honored.
I'm
honored.
Oke, hold your horse. Cuman gitu sih kan, maksud gue pengen tahu, maksudnya di kepala lu tuh apa sih gitu isinya. Kok ya oke lah, lu senang film, terus lu belajar film studies dulu, lu nggak mau cepet-cepet di film productions gitu kan. And then waktu itu lu juga cerita ke kita itu tentang you have this, it's not anxiety, kegelisahan tuh apa ya, lebih
worries.
Ya,
and
worries,
concerns.
concern with your own generation misalnya
Yeah.
seperti itu gitu kan yang oh wow, gue ngerasa yang akhirnya gue ketemu orang yang bisa gue ajak ngobrol nih gitu karena we have this kind of concerns juga sebenarnya kayak gue sama Robin itu loh dan itu luas ya maksudnya nggak generation juga tapi kayak
Yeah.
industriesnya ke suasana apa namanya kondisinya dan segala macam gitu loh dan gue tuh pengen tahu lu tuh pemikirannya apa sih gitu loh.
Mungkin paling gampang ke my first experience yang with cinema yang bener-bener kayak oh maybe I wanna do something yang di in this like industry. Mungkin aku pas SMA itu the first movie yang aku nonton and then I was like oh shoot this movie is like seeing me, right? As dramatic and as like romanticized as it sounds, but it was true. Like I was 16 when I saw Melancholia, Lars von
Trier.
Yes.
Were you in substance or something? Dude, not
No.
everyone likes to see Melancholia, man.
I know, but I don't know, I was sober as hell.
Unlike dot.
I was so sober. I was not, yes, I was just, pokoknya, I think I was subscribed to Mubi
Oh,
at
okay.
that time.
Yeah,
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 And then it was like the movie selection of the week or something. And then I was just probably like a high school depressed person. And then yaudah aku langsung click because I saw Kirsten Dunst, right? And then Charlotte Gainsbourg. Terus aku nonton and then it just changed me in a way. Maksudnya kayak I'd never seen anything like that. Terus dari situ aku kayak, well before that my brother itu juga introduced me to movies like I don't know The Godfather,
Oh.
you know,
Oh,
film bro
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stuff, right? Tapi well at the time I still think to this day The Godfather is like great, you know, the trilogy. Anyways, that was my introduction and then akhirnya I made my own choices and then I saw Melancholia and then I went to London Film Festival in
Itu
2018.
Main aja maksudnya. kalau-
Main aja. Jadi aku kesana mau kayak visit universities that I was applying to.
Right.
Terus sambil ada London Film Festival and then I saw Roma, I saw Beautiful Boy and I saw The Favorite, which was great. The Favorite was so good.
He's so damn lucky. Sih.
I know, I felt lucky. And I got to hug Timothée Chalamet, by the way. Anyways.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Hey,
You know,
like, okay.
I prefer women.
Please share my excitement. That was so exciting for me. Anyways, yeah, I went there. Terus kayak, I was on, I still am on film Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, the community on Twitter where we just talk about films, basically. So everyone was at London Film Festival. Jadi aku, and then I was reading the tweets and then the reviews. And my biggest takeaway from that experience was how fascinating it was untuk ngeliat everyone working in that ecosystem.
Okay.
Ya kayak dari marketingnya, dari PR, even like the premiere, how did it work? And then people just like running for tickets and stuff like that. It was just fascinating to me, like to be, you know, in that space, kayak red carpet, blah blah. I get it. It's like the glamour of it all, kind of. Tapi serunya juga maksudnya, like the conversation that that was happening on social media. That was so fun seeing like, oh, someone likes this and this other critic does not. This other critic loves the movie and is raving about it. And then you see kayak dari London Film Festival and then kayak I don't memorize the award season like that, but I know dari London Film Festival and then it goes to where and then finally gets to the Oscars, right? Itu like the final the final event of like the awards season, I would say.
Yeah, that would be fair.
Yeah, then we start again with Cannes later, right? This May, in May. Tapi dari situ terus aku mulai ngikutin kayak, oh, which movie is going far in the awards circuit, and then it became more interesting to me gitu kan. Jadi pas when I was applying for colleges, aku emang tadinya maunya film production, because I did IB. And then I did film studies, HL juga.
Wow.
So we spent, so it was equal parts watching and writing about movies, and then equal parts making short movies.
IB HL itu apa sih? Gua
Jadi
nggak
IB
tahu.
is the International Baccalaureate
Ah.
Curriculum.
And
Itu,
in IB you get to choose 3 highers and 3 lower subjects.
did you do
Ini
IB?
No, I skipped it.
S1 ya berarti ya?
No,
kondisinya?
it's high
SMA.
school.
High school.
Yeah,
Oh,
SMA,
yeah.
tapi it's the highest form of SMA on the planet.
Wow.
The curriculum is
It's a good curriculum.
very, very intense, very, very. But you know,
Yeah.
it's a very good system if you survive
Very
it.
good.
Wow. NHL tuh apa?
Higher levels, and we have 3 higher levels and then 3 standard levels. Then I had film. I forgot the others, but I had film as a higher level.
Nah itu berarti pre-college tuh.
High school.
No, it's high school.
High school.
Benar,
Jadi high
benar,
school di
SMA.
Jakarta waktu itu kan aku.
Oh.
And then kurikulumnya IB, terus aku ambil film. Nah itu, terus so I did try both, right? The writing and watching portion, and then the making portion. And then I ended up liking the writing and watching portion more than the making. At least at the time, I felt like I was more capable of writing and watching and writing than making. And so nggak tahu kenapa. And then I had like this thought with me kayak, film. I think you have to really learn what cinema is, like the history of it, to eventually excel in it. As with the other arts, I feel like that's just my personal belief. Kayak that's why I think sampai sekarang pun I'm really grateful that I did cinema studies, because it really gave me like a good foundation of what I want to do and what this form is and what this industry is and the business and everything. So yeah, and then abis dari when I was in school, sophomore year I think I started, no, junior year, third year in college, aku mulai internship jadi publicity assistant di this small film PR firm. Terus I was the only employee there. So, jadi I was working with the publicist. Dia freelancer juga, tapi she was just starting this agency. Jadi aku mulai belajar tentang PR, terus kayak giving out blasts to critics every day about this movie that will premiere in Tribeca and stuff like that. It was really fun for me. Kayak, because it was mostly writing and PR, right? Okay, you email the critics, making sure that they will write about the movie and stuff like that, and then just going to premieres too and talent stuff. It was really fun. And then upon graduation, I was applying to different places, and then I was applying for event and like PR stuff. And then I got not offered, but like I applied for a full-time position at Magnolia. But then it was like for this new, I don't know what they were doing, tapi kayaknya mereka buat subdivision baru focused on distribution, I think. Terus tadinya aku apply full time, tapi dia bilang karena you never had any experience in distribution, I think you'll fit more di internship program kita gitu. So, and then the salary was so low, right?
With
And then
everything.
and with New York kayak lo nafas aja bayar gitu loh. So I was like, I will
felt
not.
it.
Right. I will not survive on this salary, and I'm not gonna. So anyway, it was a whole kayak decision making process yang lama banget. Akhirnya aku memutuskan, you know what? Kalau gue di sini, I can't live that way, and that I would, kayak working all the time, and I don't know, with the visa situation, kayak lo harus cuma setahun, and then you will have to find someone to sponsor you. Kalau bisa untuk long term stay and stuff like that. It was like, it's too much. Like I'm going back home and then I'm gonna do my own stuff. And then I realized like, okay, I understand the PR, blah blah blah, and then I'm gonna try the production. That's why I got into Palari, because I wanted to just try.
Tapi
And
film study lu selesai dong.
selesai. Jadi akhirnya pas selesai kuliah, masih berapa kali bos aku minta bantuin lah gitu, kayak project based aja, tapi nggak yang aku full time jadi assistantnya dia lagi gitu. Jadi cuman kayak bantuin dia lah gitu.
Oke. Nah, sekarang kalau menurut lu, begitu lu nyobain productions, do you still want involved in productions or more to film studies?
Oh no, what should I say to this? No, it was like
Jujurli aja, jujurli.
Hey, wait. It's in all fairness, you did say that you tried both while you were there, and you found yourself gravitating towards the writing more so than the writing, the publicity, and the talking about it.
yeah.
Talking about the art form than the actual making of it.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
Not really.
Okay.
Not
well,
really. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was a good experience overall. Kayak I really got to be in the field, I guess. Maksudnya ngelihat every role itu tuh ngapain aja on set.
Ya, the dynamics lah ya, lu pasti
Yeah,
senang
yeah,
banget
yeah.
kan.
It was really fun. Kayak it was really fascinating. Kayak untuk everyone just like knew what they were doing, and then I was just there as an
Oh, you're lucky. You were lucky to be on a set where everyone knew what they were doing.
Wait, right? How was your experience? Like well, that's how I like.
Oh ya, I was
That was
like,
my impression.
I was like, apa namanya, production situation tuh gue paling suka, dynamicsnya itu.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Itu,
It was really
ya,
fun.
you know, any kind of situation, any kind of projects, the skills and everything, right?
Yeah.
Kalau gue sih selalu senang seperti itu gitu. Cuman
Yeah.
kalau gue tuh kalau khususnya ya gue ngobrol sama lu sekarang ini, yang gue suka di lu tuh punya beberapa pemikiran yang menurut gue nyusul generasinya sendiri gitu. It's like Gen Z tapi mikirnya udah kejauhan banget nih ibaratnya gitu kan, which is kind of good. Ya mungkin lu salah satu orang yang akan menjadi orang yang kena curse gitu ya.
Kebanyakan nongkrong sama Pak Una yang jadi begini.
Shit. Harus beresin industrinya mungkin, I don't know. Cuman apa
Serem
namanya,
banget.
waktu itu lu soalnya juga pernah mention gitu kan, kayak lu pengen banget bikin juga podcast. Apa judulnya apa?
I lost it at the movies.
I Lost It at the Movie. Kita tunggu tanggal mainnya, dia akan tayang. Kayaknya ini bakalan keren banget sih. Sedap.
Aduh, jangan dong.
Tapi yang gue suka tuh gitu, yang lu bisa, lu bercerita tentang nonton film apa, relate dengan kehidupan yang apa, lalu lu ngebahas dengan teman-teman lu, lalu tiba-tiba lu punya kekhawatiran ternyata ada beberapa teman lu yang tidak concern tentang kehidupan ini dan segala macam. Tapi semua itu related dengan movies
Iya,
gitu loh, menurut
iya.
gue gitu. Jadi itu bersama balik lagi, makanya pertanyaan gue tuh sebenarnya lebih ke arah situ sih. Jadi ibaratnya bukan yang, oh gue jadi nggak suka produksi, gue enggak
Iya,
begitu
iya,
maksud
iya.
gue. Cuman lu tuh penasaran yang okay, so what next gitu on you gitu loh. Lu kepikirannya pengennya gimana gitu loh.
Tadi lanjut my answer yang tadi dulu kali ya.
Iya,
yang
iya.
Maksudnya kayak where am I on the whole
Yeah.
production gitu,
Yeah.
side of filmmaking. Kayak menurut aku masih mau, anyway, mau gitu. Tapi I feel like for now, karena aku juga merasa aku juga masih mencari kayak my place di Indonesian film industry gitu, karena maksudnya oke, kayak aku lama di Indonesia tapi memang aku fokusnya dulu nggak sama Indonesian cinema, and that's like kind of my fault.
Dulu party terus soalnya nih anak.
Bukan gitu. 4 years kan aku di NYU for, apa ya, there was no mention of Indonesian movies at all actually,
Kasihan
which
nih.
is really sad. Really sad. Kayak now that I'm
Tapi yang
think about it.
Asian itu ada yang
Oh,
di-mention
Asian
nggak?
ada.
Apa?
Kayak kita ada apa namanya? Asian cinema itu ada kelas sendiri juga.
Misalnya negara mana aja?
Dari pokoknya kayak China, gitu-gitu, so kayak Hong Kong. Semuanya kita pelajarin
Iya,
sih identity. Tapi kalau misalkan bilangnya world cinema, mereka tuh kita lebih bicarain kayak ya political identity-nya sih,
Yeah.
dibanding kalau kita ngomongin American cinema atau kayak the white cinema, I guess you would call it. Itu tuh yang fokusnya tuh ke yaitu craftsmanship-nya, storytelling-nya gitu. Tapi kalau world cinema, ya to be fair dikit dapat spotlight-nya waktu di NYU. Tapi I would say my education lumayan ngebuka, maksudnya nggak yang kayak American centrist banget kok
Iya.
gitu. Tapi memang Indonesia nggak ada sama sekali, dan aku
Sedih,
jadi karena dulu aku dari SMA ke kuliah itu I was okay in English in high school. Tapi waktu ke NYU was like a completely different level. Kayak everyone was just like talking so fast, and in terms that I needed to kayak learn over time gitu. Jadi I was focused on itu language-nya juga. Jadi I was like reading books in English and watching more movies in English, rewatching movies yang aku nonton in English waktu SMA atau SMP. Jadi banyak fokus ke sana juga gitu. Jadi I completely lost touch with home in a way, with culture at home and stuff like that. And so now I'm back, aku kayak okay, I need to actually belajar dari awal gitu.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm making this podcast ya, karena as much as I like consuming media di rumah sendiri gitu, kayak baca sendiri, nonton, tapi it's just better when you talk to the person that you want to learn from. That's why I'm making the podcast.
Seru kan, menarik. Menurut gue memang, dan kayaknya memang mungkin prosesnya harus gitu sih kan menurut gue. Jadi udah sebenarnya begini, jadi kayak happy accident lah menurut gue gitu ya. Lu detach dari negara lu sendiri sama kebudayaan lu sendiri gitu. Lu konsentrasi di pelajaran dan budaya yang ada di sana gitu kan. Biasanya lu balik lagi ke sini kan kayak culture shock sebenarnya. Tapi justru harus ditabrakin dulu karena menurut gue jadi lu akan bisa nemu, oh ternyata dengan yang gua compare yang dari sana dengan yang ada di sini nih bisa gua combine dengan cara seperti ini gitu ya. Itu sebenarnya itu that kind of formulation yang gue yakin banget lu akan nemuin sih, dan itu sebenarnya harapan gue juga, dan gue yakin gue sama Robin juga punya pemikiran yang sama. Karena kita kan sering bahas ya Bin ya, kayak kenapa story di kita itu susah banget gitu untuk penetrate ke internasional misalnya seperti itu gitu. Karena bahkan ternyata untuk ngomongin struktur aja itu ya banyak yang nggak standar gitu. Masih bingung mau ngomongin apa, mau kemana, cara terus kan kayak kosakata aja beda ya. Maksudnya kayak di bahasa Inggris sama bahasa Indonesia aja beda. Apa sih subjek predikat objek, kalau Inggris itu apa gitu-gitu deh pokoknya. Cara lihat aja udah berbeda gitu. Jadi sampai sekarang tuh rasanya kok kayak masih struggling nyari itu gitu. Terus kan sebenarnya ada beberapa program yang udah jalan sebenarnya udah cukup lama, itu kayak remaking dari CJ Entertainment dari Korea misalnya kayak gitu kan, datang ke sini untuk udah remake aja, strukturnya udah ada, tinggal terusin aja. Nah ada beberapa contoh yang menurut gue cukup berhasil banget gitu diterjemahkan di film Indonesia dengan cara struktur yang udah dibikin oleh skrip Korea ini, tapi tetap kena gitu di Indonesia. Nah ini yang untuk gue keren nih. Nah satu itu yang My Annoying Brothers yang baru lagi kan ada di Netflix sih, apa namanya ininya, filmnya itu untuk gue surprise. Maksud gue bini gue aja tuh jarang banget nonton film Indonesia ya gitu, karena ya dia sering marah-marah sendirian. Mungkin soalnya juga kan orang film juga ya. Tapi pas dia nonton My Annoying Brother itu dia nangis, dan tiba-tiba dia engage sama karakternya gitu, main karakternya. Dia bilang, lu nangis? Ini aneh nih, bilang ini tumben-tumbennya gue nangis gitu, dan ini brengsek sih ini film ini gitu, dia ngomongnya brengsek ya terus gitu. Dan sebenarnya kalau lihat dari sisi productionnya tuh nggak yang wow banget, ya ngepas aja gitu loh. Cuman somehow karena udah ada strukturnya gitu di situ tuh, filmnya jadi gitu. Ibaratnya tinggal diolah sedikit gitu ya, tinggal disesuaikan gitu dengan ini Indonesia, dan itu akhirnya jadi. Nah itu sih yang gue lihat di lu sih, menurut gue sih kayaknya sih bisa ke arah situ sih kan menurut gue. Gitu. Wow, enggak, sebenarnya gue menuntut lu untuk itu. Bukan
Jebak banget.
Aduh gila ini. High hopes parah.
Wait, how about this? Okay. Based on your experience having been exposed to non-Asian cinema, that's very limited Asian cinema, right? Film history is very, very tricky because it's very cultural centric and what have you. Now, having been exposed to the American format, the European format, and whatever other focuses while you were there, is there like a benang merah that you can like summarize where American cinema does this, European cinema does that, Asian cinema in that very limited capacity because they don't really see this way that much unless it's exotic or apa?
Patronizing? No.
No. We are the one feeling patronized, but sensationalistic. I'm going to say sensational.
Yes, true.
Do you see a through line in like the differences?
Kalau for me, kalau misalkan teman, every time I watch a movie with friends, terus I introduce film yang misalkan mereka nanya what should we watch, and then I introduce this film. One thing yang aku selalu highlight itu dialogue sih, writing. I feel like good writing really takes the film to places.
Oh yeah.
That's what I believe. Kayak apa sih? There's like a popular term yang bilang, expression yang bilang kayak kalau as long as like the writing is good, yang lain-lainnya jelek, then it's still like a good film.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I
That
fully
holds.
agree.
That holds. Well, I mean, thank you for pointing out my annoying brother, but that is a testament that already was a good script,
Yeah.
and then adapted, repurposed for Indonesia,
Right.
in a very culturally sensitive and respectful way. You know, like it brings up a lot of things yang bikin ya emang Indonesia kayak gitu,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it doesn't go out of its way to like look at this gitu, tau nggak?
Yeah.
It's like
Subtle.
it's in the background, it's day-to-day life,
Yeah.
but it's part of the breathing of the film,
Yeah.
right? That's why
sure.
I think that's why it was successful. That the script was already good.
Yeah.
That we just had to make sure that we were honest to the
Right.
story.
Right.
If we weren't honest to the
Exactly.
story and then started becoming like, it's like, oh, I don't know. I mean, like, oh yeah, there's the beach scene, right?
Yeah.
And then it would be like, oh, the brothers, and then we pan to the sunset, and then hold it for 10 minutes or something like that. Then it's not true to its
Right.
form, you know,
Right.
because the story is about the brothers. It's not
Yeah.
about the landscape of jualan landscape Indonesia.
Yeah.
Kapan? It's like no.
Yeah.
Back to the brothers.
To the brothers.
Titik.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, it is so tempting. It is so tempting when
itu.
we're in production to like, oh my God, that's a great shot, gitu. Does it contribute to the story? Does it?
Right.
Does it?
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't do anything. If it doesn't do anything, why waste everyone else's time?
True. I think itu sih yang aku maksudnya dapat banget, kayak akhirnya setelah 4 tahun bolak-balik nulis, baca gitu kan. Terus and especially dengerin profesor aku ngomongin tentang film itu kayak one of my favorite things in the world. Kayak if I could do that all over again, I
Yeah.
would.
Oh,
I
can imagine that.
I do that
Oh my
too.
God, I loved hearing them talk so much. Iya pokoknya dari experience itu yang paling aku dapat itu filmmaking itu is a service to the story.
Yeah.
Jadi fokusnya, the center, the beating heart of this whole industry is like the storytelling. Jadi di situ aku fokusnya ke situ banget. Jadi every film from that point on aku bakal fokusnya ke kayak characters. Kayak misalkan this character is saying this. What does it say about his or her or their character? And then what does it say about his decision yang dia buat nanti pas di endingnya, you know, like, and then just like studying that. I think that's more interesting karena at the end of the day, I think kalau untuk aku personally, emang film can be a tool for escapism. Kayak for sure, kayak I'm not denying that at all. I still watch chick flicks from like 2008. Amanda Bynes. It's really good. It's really fun.
Sharknado.
Right. See, exactly. Kayak we're not shaming, you know, our taste, like anyone's taste here. Tapi for me, the great movies yang buat impact ke aku yang kayak pas aku nonton, holy shit, I think, for example, kayak exiting the theater and then I should probably call my mom. I should probably tell my friends how much I love them. I think for me that's more important. Atau kayak misalkan, oh my God, I need to change something about how I see the world. Like that for me is more important than kayak the other stuff gitu. Makanya that's why when people are so kayak marah-marah tentang this movie is good, kayak guys chill.
Yeah.
Maksudnya this is just a movie at the end of the day. Like kalau, you know, I think the more productive conversation that you guys must be having is why you like it and why you don't like it. I think that's more interesting to explore your emotions. Kayak why do you feel this way on this scene? Itu kayak menurut aku lebih I don't know. It makes me feel alive.
Okay. On that note, are you saying that like the experience of film should be reflective?
I believe so, actually. Kayak, well, again, maksudnya, like I said, I feel like film itu ada banyak functionnya. nggak bisa cuma satu untuk yang buat kayak yang reflektif kayak gitu atau yang sangat philosophical. Kalau kayak gitu semua, there's no diversity. Nggak maksudnya if we're talking about like the environment, maksudnya there's no biodiversity, you know what I mean? Kalau kita cuma fokus ke misalkan festival films doang, and then we don't consider Barbie release for example, you know, it's like nggak seimbang kan gitu. Tapi for me, yang menurut aku yang aku bisa bilang film ini one of the best movies that I've ever seen in my life, itu ya when it's like reflective and it really makes you think, as cheesy as it sounds, but it's true. The experience is true for me. Gitu.
Lu ada samples film yang sampai sekarang lu mungkin akan, misalnya lu ditawarin nonton lagi, lu pasti akan nonton lagi dan lu nonton ke 2343 kali gitu.
Oh, a lot.
Satu sampel aja misalnya. Maybe we can
Kalau
share that.
mau satu,
Satu aja, simple.
mungkin aku ini lebih ke film yang secara estetik dan secara storytelling dan secara everything yang aku selalu ulang-ulang ke teman-teman aku kalau ditanya my favorite film itu sebenarnya dua sih. Tapi it's from the same era. Maksudnya yeah, they're like the same angkatan. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg by Jacques Demy with Catherine Deneuve and I forgot the actor. Sorry,
Yeah,
can I
it's
curse
fine.
here?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Terus the other one is The Green Ray, Le Rayon Vert by Eric Romer.
Gila, gue aja belum nonton, men.
No, but I know both
God.
filmmakers. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't.
Itu tahun
haven't-
berapa?
Umbrellas was 67 and Green Ray was 68. Yeah, I think
Impressive.
around that time. Aku nonton The Umbrellas of Cherbourg SMA juga, by the way.
Really?
SMA di movie juga,
Huh.
di movie karena they were remember La La Land was a big release, right?
Yeah.
And then kayak it is famously referencing The Umbrellas of Cherbourg actually.
It was referencing a lot of films.
Yeah,
a
true.
lot.
Tapi maksudnya I think the biggest inspiration I would say itu The Umbrellas of Cherbourg karena with the ending, I remember people were just talking about the ending, kayak they didn't like it because it was like a sad ending for them or whatever. Yeah, the French ending, right? Kayak, you know, it shouldn't be.
That's what I was referring to the previous question. It's like, is there a red?
Oh, right.
But we'll go back to that. Why don't you finish this?
Tapi ya itu kayak La La Land release terus Umbrellas of Cherbourg aku jadi nonton karena Damien Chazelle, the director, was like talking about the movie a lot. I was like, what is this? Kayak, I need to see this. I need to see his source of inspiration. And then I did. Kayak the whole movie mereka dialognya tuh dinyanyiin. Composed by Michel Legrand, itu collaborator, long time collaboratornya si Jacques Demy juga. So they were singing the dialogues. Catherine Deneuve, I love her. Maksudnya kayak what a face, right? And then the costume, and then it was so pretty. Kayak first time seeing it di TV rumah doang kayak this is beautiful. This is like I want to be immersed in this world like from this point on in my life. Like I can't be, you know, anywhere else other than this. But it was really good. And then The Green Ray aku discover waktu kuliah. Waktu kuliah, The Green Ray itu lebih lebih simple lah gitu, lebih sederhana dari aspek filmmakingnya, dari productionnya, dari storynya, even dari dialogue and the conflicts itu lebih lebih santai dibanding Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Umbrellas is very dramatic, such a romantic film to kalau The Green Ray itu benar-benar dibuat we're following this one woman on a summer vacation all throughout France. So she just went through breakup and then dia sendirian gitu di vacationnya, and then she was just sad, and then she got herself in these situations yang very uncomfortable for her and then for her friend, and then she's just pining for like love basically kan. It's very simple, terus akhirnya dia endingnya one of the most beautiful endings I've ever seen, yet the most simple, karena she was just sitting on top of a hill sama this guy that she just met at the train station, and then they were just looking at the sunset. And The Green Ray itu tuh artinya that split second before the sun goes down and there's like a light of green ray gitu.
Oh iya, gue tahu
Terus
teori
kayak,
itu. Iya.
oh my god, that was like, I feel like that's still the most effective ending that I've ever seen for me. Karena with that it answers all the questions in the movie. Kayak tesisnya kejawab apa, it was just beautiful. That changed my life. So those
Nah,
two movies.
Itu dan selama lu lihat 2 film itu, lu bisa share sama teman-teman lu nggak bercerita gitu atau mendiskusikan itu gitu.
Kalau di SMA enggak. Jujur aku sama orang Jakarta susah banget untuk introduce mereka ke film sebelum kayak 90-an.
Oke. Ya,
Kayak
understandable.
mereka selalu bilang pernah I was drunk one time at a friend's house and then we kayak
One time.
Are you sure?
that one time I was drunk. Terus kayak semua orang pada pulang but I was still drunk and aku kayak I remember putting on one of Orson Welles movies di Netflix. Kayak dulu ada, aku lupa banget.
Which one?
I forgot.
Citizen Kane.
No, not Citizen Kane.
What is it, Lady in Shanghai?
No, not that.
M
A
bukan
Touch of Evil.
Aduh,
M for Murder? Bukan ya?
No,
Bukan,
that-
bukan.
no. That's Fritz Lang.
right.
Oh iya, please lagi.
Tapi pokoknya it was black and white.
Yeah.
Terus kayak teman aku kayak marah gitu, maksudnya please don't. And then I tried with Roma again because I was like telling them how much I enjoyed
Marah
it.
karena
It's in black and white.
Black and white. Like,
Oh,
what are we
gitu.
watching, Ken? You know?
Oh, by the way, I would like to add to your pet peeve here. At some point, I was teaching in one of the local universities, in fact, 2, and I offered black and white film because
As you should.
I mean, it is. Whether we like it or not, film started off black and white,
Yeah.
right? And the progression of technology is what it was, right?
Yeah.
We went from black and white to black and white with with sound, and then color,
Yeah.
and then so on and so forth, right? So every technological progression led to our enjoyment today.
ya.
Yeah.
So that and some of these films, even after gazillion years it was made, according to these people, right? They hold up even better now than they compared to some of what we see in cinema today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
So, I put on Citizen Kane and they were really upset.
Really?
And I'm like,
ini film school nih.
yeah.
Oh my God, that breaks my heart.
I teach like film in film school,
That really
and I
breaks my heart.
gave Citizen Kane as an example of
Yeah.
complex editing.
Right.
It is
right.
very complex. Until today, it's one of the one of the most complex
Yeah.
edited film. Godfather 2 is the second, like, blow my brains out
Right.
sort of editing breakthroughs, in cinema. And they were like, yeah, so what do you think? They're like, God damn it, it's so boring. Why is it so? It's like, okay, please tell me why it was boring.
Right.
It's in black and white.
Wow.
Oh.
And why is that a problem? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like, it's old.
Yeah, I know.
Nah
There's
itu
like,
teman-teman lo juga kurang lebih begitu.
kalau makanya after years of like trying to introduce my friends ke black and white movies, I drew a conclusion kayaknya it's because they feel so distant from that reality.
Okay.
So they're not really interested in
Or not relate.
kayak not even learning, like watching it mereka nggak nonton gitu. Karena I find that kebanyakan, at least from my generation, I don't want to talk about like for everyone, tapi maksudnya yang aku ngelihat, yeah, it's just more appealing untuk untuk nonton reality yang mereka ngerti dibanding reality yang mereka nggak. Yeah, they're like strangers
Yeah, yeah.
to kayak the reality in Citizen Kane, for example.
Okay, that's fine. But
Yeah.
is seeing as we're on this topic, what is that reflection of reality? It's not fair for them to dismiss a black and white film,
Right.
when they like, oh yeah, I really get it when Jennifer Love Hewitt was being dumped by that guy.
Right.
You're not white.
Right.
So
right,
why
right,
do you
right.
relate to that?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's unfair that the the general audience, the new general audience dismisses black and white just because it's so far-fetched from their reality.
Yeah.
But they can relate to a white girl
Yeah, right.
as opposed
That's so
to
true.
their own Indonesian equivalent love story.
Yeah.
I don't get
Right,
that. I'm
right.
sorry. That's not fair. And this is probably one of the things that gripes you, right?
Yeah.
That why are we dismissing our own films in relation to a reflection of society, but we're okay to accept something like Euphoria,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is damn good, right?
It's the fucking internet. It's the fucking internet. Kayak bener sih, maksudnya realitinya ya kalau kita ngomongin reality Zendaya atau reality apa,
Nggak make sense
gue nggak,
juga.
I don't identify di karakter mereka sama sekali. Tapi nggak tahu ya, karena menurut aku ya internet itu sih. Jadi kayak what's cool and what's not is really determined by the videos that you see on the internet.
Okay.
Gitu.
So
Dan
with this influence, I mean, you're doing film studies, which is a dissection, a rhetorical discussion, and
Yeah.
all that. With the internet being so dominant in our faces right now and our consumption, right? Are we not creating enough content by ourselves to reflect us, and that results in the zeitgeist of people thinking that that's me,
right.
right?
Mungkin kalau yang tadi kenapa mereka itu merasa realitinya yang aku bilang distant sama reality, misalkan di Citizen Kane itu maksud aku lebih kayak ke reality sekarang itu mereka they grew up with films with colors. They grew up with the Disney Channel yang kayak menurut mereka itu lebih deket gitu segala macam, so they tend to stay in that lane instead of kayak I wanna explore movies. Dan maksudnya kenapa kalau di zaman dulu kan Citizen Kane keluar, everyone was watching it, right? Because it was, kalau sekarang kayak if you wanna watch Citizen Kane, then you have to have like at least an extent of interest dikit di film gitu. Karena kalau enggak, they don't care about that. They only care about films when it's out in the theaters and people are talking about it. And Margot Robbie is like posing on the red carpet with like a great dress. That's when they want to watch a film.
Tapi waktu yang lu kasih lihat Roma gimana mereka ininya?
No one cared.
Sama
Same thing,
juga.
dia kayak, oh ini black and white movie from the 60s. I'm like, no, it's like 2018. Like, a modern director made this. Like, I don't know.
The
Jadi-
guy who made Gravity.
Right. I should have started with that.
Yeah, you should have started with that.
Tapi ya gitu, nggak ada yang interested sampai even aku di New York. Akhirnya aku pelan-pelan. Tapi itu pun aku pernah ngajakin mereka movie night ke rumah nonton Ali Fear Eats the Soul, Fassbinder, Rainer.
Apa?
What?
Judulnya?
Ali Fear Eats the Soul.
I don't.
It's about
Fassbender?
yeah.
Michael Fassbender.
No. Rainer,
Oh.
Oh,
German.
No
Anyways, itu kayak
Sorry.
Like,
Sorry.
wow.
We're
I feel dumb.
uncultured. I feel uncultured. But then again, I watched Sharknado. All 6 of them.
All 6 of them, oh my god. Tapi kan itu waktu itu aku di Max. Di Max kan ada Criterion Collection.
Oh, yeah.
Jadi it was maksudnya kayak it was so great to have that. Like nonton kayak film kayak gitu, and then aku pernah ngajak mereka nonton Tampopo. Jadi tapi memang harus berwarna, something yang bisa nge-hook mata mereka sih. Itu menurut aku untuk
bikin
ke
mereka
generation
nyaman
sekarang.
sih sebenarnya sih. Merasa nyaman nih. Jadi film klasik tapi berwarna masih oke gitu.
Masih
di-accept
oke,
lah.
tapi susah banget karena kayak karakter misalkan old actor yang mereka tuh nggak tahu apa-apa tentang kehidupannya, and kayak mereka nggak interested gitu. Misalkan aku ngajak mereka nonton Phantom Thread. Itu kan Daniel Day-Lewis kan. Untuk yang misalkan nonton film nih, ngelihat dia role sebagai fashion designer inspired by Cristobal Balenciaga and stuff, itu kan kayak, oh wow, I really wanna see how he nails this role. Tapi kalau mereka tuh nggak bisa dari situ ngomongnya, kayak it's not as easy as it's Daniel Day-Lewis playing 50s fashion designer. It's not as easy as that. I have to sell it like, maybe tambahin kayak warna-warnanya bagus banget. Pertama, baju-bajunya, the dresses are so good. It's inspired by Balenciaga. I think fashion is like a big point untuk my generation juga sih, especially the girls. Even the guys too. Kayak style is very important. Terus misalkan, do you know Radiohead, the guitarist composed the score for Phantom Thread. Terus kayak, mungkin kalau ada yang lebih suka film dikit, the director was also the cinematographer in this gitu. Jadi harus cari-cari di mana yang mereka bisa itu gitu.
So I'm guessing that Phantom Thread was a difficult sell, but Devil Wears Prada was like, let's
easy.
watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And I'm not saying maksudnya in a way mereka ada it's both itu fashion worlds kan. Terus dua-duanya main karakter itu very intense people, very disciplined, ya kan, very rigorous, kayak mean bosses in a way, not mean, lebih what do you call it, kayak demanding, yes, my god, demanding bosses gitu. Tapi jadi from that point sebenarnya it has to be interesting sebenarnya untuk nonton either Phantom Thread atau Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
It's the same story, right? Kalau bedanya kalau Phantom Thread yang tadinya dijadiin one of his ladies kan, awalnya kan si Alma itu kerja dulu in a way kan, pakai bantuin terus jadinya jadi his lover, jadi his wife, kids. Kalau misalkan Devil Wears Prada yang tadinya dia dibenci jadi kayak she thrives in the fashion world and stuff like that. It's the same, tapi it was very hard. I think they don't care. Kayak for me in Phantom Thread, Alma's performance, si actressnya, I forgot her name. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Keep going.
Yeah, Alma itu, her performance was like a revelation for me. I'm like, wow, like she does this role so good, flawless. Kayak the role is basically for her. Tapi kalau Devil Wears Prada, karena Anne Hathaway, doesn't matter if she's good or bad.
Okay.
She plays this assistant kalau di real life-nya Vogue gitu.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see it. The girls and the gays want to see it. They're running to the theaters,
Menarik banget nih. Ini soalnya jadi ngingetin gua di tahun ketika Saving Private Ryan's years,
God.
That time.
Yeah.
Premieres di UK.
When was that? 20?
That's 91, I think.
No,
wait a minute, 97,
98,
sorry.
Something like that. Because I was like the first year, I was in UK as well. Jadi di hari yang sama itu, ada Saving Private Ryan's, and then The Thin Red Line.
Oh,
itu kan sama si siapa?
That's like left and right at the same time.
Siapa namanya? Sampai lupa gue, yang belajar filsafat, Thin Red Line, direkturnya, Tree of Life,
Terrence Malick,
ya kan. Nah, surprisingly memang waktu itu anak-anak mikirnya ada pasti yang ramean ini kan si Saving Private Ryan dulu gitu kan. Nah, kebetulan di kota gue di Sheffield itu ada satu bioskop independen terbesar di UK, namanya Showroom Cinema. Dan harganya dia di atas Odeon, masih ingat Odeon kan? Odeon tuh hanya something like 3.5 or 4.5 pounds. Kalau di Showroom Cinema tuh 8 sampai 12 pound, semahal itu. Tapi yang gue surprise itu waktu itu yang rame itu Thin Red Line-nya dulu, yang rame banget. Jadi orang-orang tuh yang Saving Private Ryan bisa entar aja karena masih lama. Tapi ini susah nih nyarinya nih gitu. Jadi itu full house terus tuh selama berapa minggu gitu waktu itu gitu. Gue juga agak surprise juga, yang gue pikir penonton di sini ya pasti milihnya yang lebih komersial sekarang gitu kan. Terus balik lagi ke yang ini nih sekarang gitu kan. Kalau misalnya ternyata ada pembandingnya nih Phantom Thread sama si Devil Wears Prada kan.
It wasn't in the same year, but it's the same topic.
Betul. Cuman yang gue tangkep nih, jangan-jangan memang masa sih harus ada kayak pre-information atau something yang inject dulu ke calon-calon penonton ini sebelum nonton filmnya gitu.
But technically, that's what happens during marketing, right?
Yeah.
We
Itu
see
dia.
the trailer, we see a subject-ish about it. There was a year when Hollywood did all these films about
Yes.
cloning,
Yes.
right?
Right.
In the 90s, I mean, there was the smart one,
Yeah.
and then there was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
Ya, true. Nah,
So-
makanya gue ngelihatnya memang masa ini nih kayak memang ya that's one of the reason why we decided to make a podcast as well, and you think about it
Yeah.
tanpa kita sadarin sih.
Yeah.
Mungkin ini yang harus kita lakuin sih di podcast kita gitu. loh.
Right.
Sebelum ada film apapun yang akan muncul gitu kan, kita ceritain, bukan ceritain filmnya ya, cuman
iya.
kita inceptions. Ngasih konsep-konsep
Iya,
itu
iya.
gitu. By the way, gue tuh pengen banget terusin diskusinya, cuman ini udah 51 menit, man.
That's crazy.
Right?
It went by so fast.
So,
You're coming back, right?
Ya, pokoknya teman-teman ini kan masih banyak ceritanya nih, belum cerita dia party terus
Jangan
masuk ke dalam laut gitu, cie anjir.
Not for public consumption.
So nanti
But
kita
if it was inspired by a film,
Shoot. Right.
thanks man.
Thank
so,
you.
ya,
Thank
gue
you
pasti
for
akan
having me.
definitely I will invite you again and we will continue. Tapi kita dengar dulu ntar komennya para audiensnya apa nih tentang Ken Durasi ini. Oke?